nerderotic.com.
In a few short weeks, Hollywood is going to be looking for a bailout from you and I, the American taxpayer, to fund projects like this. And no, it is not a joke. I thought it was for about a nanosecond. Then I remembered it's 2020. I remembered female Terminators. We're going to have female Pirates of the Caribbean with Margot Robbie. Of course, we have the first female Doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, who we will lovingly call Dr. Karen. And then we're also going to have a female 007 with Lashana Lynch. So why not a female social justice warrior, Zorro? Zorro drama with female lead from Robert Rodriguez. Robert Rodriguez's sister, that woman from Modern Family and Propagate, in works at NBC. I think you meant to say in the works at NBC, but that is only the beginning for this piece from Deadline. Now, before we get into this article, if you could please check and make sure you are still subscribed to this channel. If you haven't, please consider doing so, and like and share the videos, comment below. It really does help independent content creators, and if you can do that with your favorite YouTuber as well, I'm sure they would appreciate it as much as I do. Exclusive. NBC is developing Zorro, a contemporary take on the classic masked vigilante character with a gender swap. We're a few years into the Me Too Time's Up era, and I've got a question for the ladies out there, all 9 or 10% of you who are watching these videos. Do you feel represented? And more importantly, do you feel that Hollywood has atoned for their sins? After the decades of abusing women, they have decided to gender swap characters as an apology and monetize it. Do you feel empowered? Do you find it stunning and brave? I do believe the final killing blow to sexism in Hollywood has been delivered, and it comes at the hands of Robert Rodriguez with a female SJW Zorro. It comes from a high-profile creative team, making it all the more disappointing, which includes filmmaker Robert Rodriguez, one of my favorite directors. I love El Mariachi. I love Sin City. Writer-director Rebecca Rodriguez and Sofia, and I'm going to have to say this name slowly so I don't say Bergara, and her Latin we. I'm not even sure what that is, as well as Ben Siverman and Howard T. Owens, Propagate CBS Studios, where Propagate, or Propaganda, has a deal. Will co-produce with Universal TV. Tiempos de Patriarchy, co-written by the brother and sister duo of Robert and Rebecca Rodriguez, and to be directed by Rebecca. Zorro centers on Sola Dominguez, an underground artist. Oh, this is starting to sound familiar. Does she live in a van, by the way? Does she have a pet plant? Who fights for social injustice? Deadline? I think you meant she either fights for social justice or she fights against social injustice as a contemporary version of the mythical Zorro. So it's Zorro, except without the horse, the hat, the black costume, the sword, and the berga, which means it's not Zorro. But if you do have her fight for social injustice, have her wearing black and a mask, and she's running around saying she's punching Nazis and fighting white supremacy and doing the bidding of her billionaire overlords, then it would be a case of art imitating life. Propagate set out to develop a TV series reimagining of Zorro with a female protagonist last season as one of the company's first projects under its first look deal with CBS Studios. In other words, they signed this deal, they couldn't come up with jack shit, and they came up with Female Zorro. The idea's first incarnation, they weren't even the ones who thought of it, was written by Alfredo Barrios Jr., also was set up at NBC. So the most unoriginal idea wasn't even originally their unoriginal idea. Again, I have to say this name very slowly. Bergara and Silverman are frequent collaborators. They have teamed up to produce together several projects over the past decade, while Silverman was at Electus, and after her joined Propagate, who wrote this article? This is Deadline, for Christ's sake. Nelly and Driva, come on. You're not garbaged here, or are you? Wow, if I'm busting on your grammar, that's saying something. I've been kicked out of 3 high schools. And after she joined Propagate, including the ABC drama series killer women. All right. See, I did it. Vergara received Emmy, Golden Globe, and SAG Award nominations for her starring role on ABC's Modern Family. Her feature credits include the Warner Brothers buddy comedy Hot Pursuit, which she also produced. Additionally, she executive produced the Spanish version of Desperate Housewives. Propagate's scripted series slate includes The CW's Charmed, a cheesy remake of a cheesy 90s series that starred Alyssa Milano, which brings us back to the Me Too Time's Up era, an era that brings us shows like Female SJW Zorro, a movement that was just used, as it turns out, as a money and power grab. Robert Rodriguez was attached to direct The Mask of Zorro and cast Antonio Banderas as the title role before leaving the feature project. In TV, he developed and executive produced the series adaptation of his movie From Dusk Till Dawn for his TV network El Rey, and also executive produced the Spy Kids animated series offshoot for Netflix. He recently directed an episode of Disney Plus's The Mandalorian, which a lot of people have been talking about. It was the return of some of Boba Fett's armor on the Jango Fett actor, and a lot of people got excited. Rebecca Rodriguez's recent directing credits include episodes of TNT's Snowpiercer and Showtime's The Chi. She is repped by People, and this is a press release that wasn't edited by the author of this article. We have an Inception level of creative bankruptcy here, so let me see if I can get this straight. Batman, a character created by Bob Kane and Bill Finger, which was ripped off from Zorro and some would say correctly The Shadow, looking at you, Razor Fist. And if we fast forward a few decades, we had Batwoman, which is a female version of Batman, not to be confused with Batgirl. The only reason they brought Batwoman back was to reimagine her as a member of the alphabet community so it would get adapted into a TV series, and that's exactly what happened. That series was so successful, they lost their LGBTQ plus lead and replaced her with a black female LGBTQ plus lead, who just so happens to be anti-establishment. Not to be left out, NBC wants a piece of that pie, no pun intended. So NBC deliberately recycles an unoriginal idea and possibly brings balance back to the universe and defeats sexism. They take the character that Batman ripped off, Zorro, gender swap him, and turn it into a ripoff of Batwoman. Now, I don't know if this will bring balance back to the universe, but it might bring us one step closer to my dream and many others here on this platform, an A-Force film, or better yet, we'll get the realization of Charlize Theron's dream of an all-female, all-lesbian, Die Hard movie. So rest assured, when Hollywood does receive its bailout from you and I, the American taxpayer, our money will be hard at work, striking a blow against the patriarchy every week with a female SJW, possibly Antifa, Zorro, except without the cape, the hat, the black suit, the sword, and the berga. If you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you heard, I thank you for listening this long. I will see you in the next video.
Dirterotic.com. Please subscribe.